Lili Taylor, you're playing still Claire Coates in the third installment of the American crime anthology drama series. When you signed on for season three, what were you told about Claire?
Well, I was told we were going to be doing modern day slavery, and I was told to watch Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. So those were the two. And well, it's John Ridley. So
Yeah.
Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? Just because of the relationship with my character and Tim Hutton's character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what? God, just now that you say that, yeah, that makes 100% total sense to me. Whereas I never would have thought of that before.
Yeah, no, it's that toxic.
So toxic, absolutely. Now, by season, we haven't seen the last episode yet. It's about to air, right? So, without telling us too much, do you think that by the end of the season, did her journey and her story, did it meet or exceed your expectations? Like, I mean, what did you know was going to happen to her?
I didn't know what was going to happen to her. John doesn't like us to know too much. He tells us what we need to know. So I didn't know. So it exceeded my expectations in the sense that he allowed her to. Oh, I can't say much, right? Because is this going to air after it airs?
Well, it might not. So let's just be careful. It's going to
Are
be like the
spoilers?
day of or the day before, or maybe yeah. So we better be
Yeah. So
careful.
we want to be
Spoiler
careful.
alert.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, it's pretty clear where things are going for Claire, that she's heading. The denial is cracking, and it's not working out. And she surprises me in that she was had more capacity than I thought she had to look at her part.
Okay. Now,
Okay.
given that the overarching story is about modern slavery, domestic servitude, there's a whole bunch of things that you guys are tackling this time. How do you think what's the best way to describe how Claire fits into that overarching story?
Well, do you mean into the modern day slavery
Yeah.
story?
Yeah.
Well, I have to say, Claire is not your average modern day domestic slaveholder in the States. Usually that person comes from a caste system, and or they've suffered a genocide. It's rarely a Caucasian middle upper class who holds a slave. So the writers did a lot of work to make that work, and I was hoping they would and knew they would,
Yeah.
but I was concerned. But I feel like they did it. They made it work because what really this case is about a very a toxic relationship that doesn't live in a vacuum, that has consequences, and that leaks out to other people. So John sort of was using our storyline as sort of what happens to human beings when we don't clean up our side of the street. What happens when we sort of, make these unethical, moral decisions, and how that impacts others. And so I sort of do the same thing to the nanny that's in a way done to my character in a way.
Right.
And then some.
Yeah. And what I find so interesting about your particular storyline with Timothy and Mikhail Bizet, who we'll talk about later, is how stifling that setting is, and how trapped Claire feels, and a lot of that has to do with your performances, obviously, and how you all interact, and a lot of it is obviously the writing. Did you feel that when you were bringing this story to light, when you were shedding light on it, that you were trying to go for that whole trapped feeling and that stifling, just unbearably stifling feeling?
Yeah, because first off, going with like an issue or an idea never works, at least for me.
Yeah.
And so going into that realm of something that is emotional and feeling oriented and very relatable. I mean, I think we've all felt powerless. And that, I know for me, whenever I feel really powerless, it's or trapped or helpless, it's awful. It's just awful. And I don't think any human being likes to feel trapped. It's sort of antithetical to who we are, because we just want to keep moving forward and go. And here she is, trapped by her psychology, trapped by her marriage, trapped by uh, um, well, the denial really, and she doesn't see a way out.
Wow. And every American season, American crime season, I look forward to discovering these new actors, and now Mikhail Bizet, who I didn't know before this, really blew me away. What was it like working with her?
Well, look, I mean, it's not like we're going to be having a great time after those scenes, okay? So I think there was a natural kind of distance.
Yeah.
I mean, look, if we were in a theater company and this was our 5th time doing something, sure, we would have been joking around. But we just met each other, and here I'm friggin', pouring boiling water on her. So,
Yeah.
It's not. It was a good, healthy distance.
Yeah.
But she was great. She was great. She was
Yeah,
great.
she was really great. And I think, some of the issues that you guys were tackling, especially with her, this Haitian nanny who obviously has some serious issues and PTSD or whatever it is, it just kind of heightened it all. And I think it worked really well. And one of the reasons why, I think we talked about this last time we spoke, and it's something that I want to focus on because it was really, I was very aware of it when watching you, was in American crime, a lot of the time we're focusing on actors' faces, even when you're not speaking, even though you're not at the center of the scene, but we're watching you react. A lot of that happened this season, especially with you and Timothy. What do you think about the way in which that is done in the show?
Well, that's one reason I think the show's so exciting and why John has such a unique vision, why it doesn't feel like TV to me, quote unquote, even though TV's totally changing.
Yeah.
But I think, I know that there's still a lot of energy when we finish the scene. And I think as actors, we still have that energy because I think that the way it's shot, it's very authentic to the feelings in the scene, as opposed to over and over, close and closer, medium. It's all that kind of coverage, which doesn't really help the scene and doesn't help the actors or the audience. But what John is getting into, what's really important in that scene, nothing more, nothing less. And so as an actor, it feels in total right order. Even if it may not be on me, even if it not, I'd rather serve the essence of the scene than serve, of course, my own, stuff. So it's exciting to me when it's being shot, I can feel the energy.
Well, why don't they do more of that in other shows? Because it really does work. Like it really does. And it doesn't have to happen in every scene, but when it does, and we're drawing into your eyes and what you're feeling, because what you're doing is so horrible or whatever, it really tends to work. And I wonder why that doesn't happen more often. But anyway.
Well, you know what? I wonder if I think a lot of it's that the producers around John trust him, and so they take those risks. Whereas I think a lot of that extra coverage comes from fear and covering your ass and,
Right.
oh, what will they think? So take risks. That's the message.
Yeah. Take risks. Good. I love that. We spoke almost a year ago to the day, and season 2 had concluded. Everyone was so excited about that particular season. You had a very prominent role with Connor Jessup, and there was some talk, you might get nominated for an Emmy. And thankfully, you did get nominated. We were very excited at Gold Derby about that. Talk us through that particular moment when you were nominated.
Well, actually, it was in the interview with you when I kind of realized that I might have a chance of being nominated. I don't look at the horse race so much because it's not healthy for me.
No.
Why? What can I do anyway? It's not like I can train and get faster.
No.
So there's nothing I can do. My publicist is doing everything she can. And so that was the first kind of inkling of it. And it was it felt great. I mean, it was really nice to get nominated. Anytime you get reflected back by your people for the work you do, come on. I mean, it's a great thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's fantastic.
Like any profession, when you get nominated for something or you win an award, it's amazing. And, like in the lead actress category, which you were in last time, that is so ridiculously competitive these days, with what we have on TV, which is so incredible. To have you and Felicity nominated together for a show that, doesn't have the greatest ratings, it just obviously says that that your role really resonated. And so you're in the hunt again, but I think you're in the supporting category this time. It's a bit different.
Yeah.
those categories are ridiculous, but you know, you might be back. And what I was wondering,
Really? You think so?
I think you've definitely got a chance. So
Okay.
just you might be ready. You might need to put that date in your calendar.
Okay.
Because it might be happening. But you know, and if it doesn't, it doesn't matter. And the reason why it won't, if it doesn't, is because the categories are ridiculously stacked. There's just too many actors vying for attention with all these amazing limited series that are out there now. But you're still in there. So what I was wondering was this: the last time you were nominated before that was for 6 Feet Under, and that was like 15 years earlier. And then before that, I think it was for the X-Files. I think that's how it works.
Yeah.
What did you notice the difference? So you were nominated in the Guest Actress category, and then 15 years later in the Lead Actress category. What was the difference?
Night and day. Because back then, I don't know if it's still the case, for supporting part, you were in the ceremony with, no disrespect, with the crew. Half my family's crew members in the, you know, IATSE union. So I have no disrespect. I love crew, but that's who I was with. So it's like you're not at the ceremony. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least with 6 Feet Under. So, I mean, to be at the ceremony was like, you know, night and day, really. Yeah. So that was the huge difference. And, you know, and as you know, it's like, it was really competitive. And what I didn't realize with the Emmys, how hard it was to break through that system of just them seeing your name and checking a box.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not in that world, it's very difficult to get in, like a members club, you know? And I wasn't a member, really. So, it was, you know, so just, what's my point? My point is that it was night and day. I mean, it was like, it was really fun. It was great.
And that's why we were so so excited to see your name in that, because it is really hard to break in, and it means that it must be a performance that really kind of broke through, and yours did. So look, what would you pick a highlight episode from this particular season? Let's just pretend that you are nominated and you're going to be nominated again. You have to pick one particular episode, and it's all hypothetical. But do you have one in mind where you think, you know, I loved episode X because of this?
You know, I'm wondering if it would be the last episode, because, and I won't give any spoilers away, just because of the crack in her psyche and the tension that might be there. I haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna see it Sunday night. Wow. The tension that might have that created. I would probably say the 8th episode, or the 8th, yeah.
Wow, I'm so looking forward to seeing that now. And we don't know about season 4 yet. I think there's some talk about it, but it hasn't been confirmed.
Is there talk? Because I've heard nothing.
Really? Well, that was going to be my question. Have you heard anything? Because we'd like to know.
No, but you've heard something?
Well, you know, I
get more from you guys. It's unbelievable.
You can Google this stuff, and I think you can see there's been, you know, if they do a 4th season, they might do it about this, or they're thinking, you know, there's always, I think Michael McDonald and John Ridley and the crew would probably be, you know, quite happy to do another one for ABC, but I guess it's not up to them. But let's say it did happen. Would you think about signing on again for this troupe of ensemble actors?
This is one of my favorite jobs. I love John Ridley. I love Michael. I love the crew. I love the cast. To me, it's true collaboration. I love this job. It's because it's deep. It resonates with people. It's beautiful, emotional, complex relationships. It's got everything I want. Yeah. But really collaboration too. So I'd be down in 2 seconds. I would do anything John asked me to do. Anything.
Okay. Well, you heard it here first.
All right.
So just get that sorted out with your, you know, with your team. Make sure that it's booked in. So okay, we don't know what's going on with that, but what's next for you then? What can we see you in after American Crime?
Marvin's Room, a play on Broadway, but I don't know if you're coming that way.
Probably not, but people will. So is that on Broadway? Is that on Broadway?
Yeah, it's Marvin's Room on Broadway. Previews begin June 8th, and it's a great play. It's pure, authentic, subtle, absurd. It's special. So I'm going to start rehearsals for that in a week. And that's it. Hey, I'm doing a play for the next 6 months. So that's what I'm doing. Hey,
that's nothing to sniff at. And you know what? Maybe we'll have to talk to you on for our Tony's coverage in, you know, who knows, in a year's time.
Ooh,
see what I mean, Lee? There's always something, mate. There's always something. Oh, well, thanks so much for your time again. We really appreciate it. I hope to see you at the Emmys in a few months.
You guys are great. Thank you. Okay.